Welcome to the program on principles of supply chain management. In the last session, we were seeing some of the aspects of warehousing, which is one of the important activity in supply chain management. And handling the package is one of the core areas inside the warehouse. You may be getting a lot of packaging from the your vendor, and you may be sending it to the customer in a packaged mode. So packaging serves a different purpose, either to protect the component or the product, or it could also be used as a publishing. So we may use paper, plastic, or wooden things. But mainly in warehouse, we take care of the protection to the goods. So there are something called unitization. We normally use the pallets for ease of handling. So you need to know various types of pallets available. How do you handle it? It should also match with your storage method or material handling method. When it comes to dispatching the product to the vendor, nowadays there is a growing concern on environment, so possibly you need to use a returnable packaging in terms of sustainability. You can see some example shown in the figure, which is used as a returnable packaging. You send it to the customer takes out the product, then this item can be folded and returned back to the organization. So packaging is one of the core activity in warehousing. Coming to safety in warehouse, this is the place where the accident can take place, because we are handling a lot of moving items, possibly by using forklift or pallet truck. There is a frequent crisscrossing movements happening. And second important is on the rack. Many warehouse accident happens because we do not take care of load bearing capacity of the racks. Each of the racks is designed to carry some load, but we do not take care of that. We don't weigh the material, simply load as long as there is a space, but it is going to produce accident. Primary area of accident in any manufacturing plant is warehouse. And even in a retail area, if you are not providing sufficient gangways, it's going to end up in accident. In case of racks, when you are designing the warehouse, you need to understand what is the load we are trying to load in the racks, and accordingly design. And if your warehouse is going to handle any hazardous material, what are the protection you are going to do. There is something also called Factories Act in Indian environment. You are responsible to take care of safety, welfare of your employees. Since I was responsible as a factory manager, I was also involved in safety activities. In case of a fire, what prevention measure you can do. In case of welfare, how many toilets per employee, or how many employees per toilet, or what are all the welfare facility provided. All those are defined by the Factory Act. Okay, so they can come and audit your warehouse, and they can issue order to shut down if you are not following those prescribed procedures. And if there is any accident involving a death of people, then warehouse responsible person could also be put behind bars. So you need to take care of the safety in warehouse. So it starts with the proper layout. You need to know how much is the capacity, how you are going to store it. Are you going to use it only in the floor, or you are going to use the rack? Are you going to use manual methods or automatic methods? So this is where space planning and layout planning comes into picture, where supply chain, especially logistic professional, will be involved. They should also know in the future how many warehouses are required, what should be the sizes, how should be the layout. In terms of space planning, they should be in a position to tell that currently I am handling 10,000 pallets, maybe next year I will need 12,000 pallets, and what are the methods to increase those capacity. There are a lot of layout concepts are available. A sample you can see in the picture, but it all depends upon your kind of product. So some analysis has to be made, especially in terms of FSN. We have seen earlier fast moving, slow moving, non moving. Fast moving goods should be given priority, and they should be either available towards inwards or exit, and non moving goods can be kept at a remote place. So some analysis should be made, and in case of safety you should provide a proper passageways so that the vehicle can move around, turn around. All this important. There should not be clash or crisscross. And in warehouse or otherwise in logistic, there are a lot of material handling is involved. Okay, here also we have to see whether we are talking about manual or automatic. In most of the Indian manufacturing or retailer warehouse, it's more of a manual. We do not go for automatic, whereas in e-commerce, they use various automatic mechanisms like conveyor, or in the picture what you are seeing is automatic storage and retrieval mechanism. Okay, when you need a higher accuracy, higher productivity, it may not be possible to handle them in a manual way. That is where you need automatic handling. One of the important warehouse activity is picking. As and when you receive the order, you need to pick the item. Here accuracy is very important. You have to pick the correct product as per the order, and the quantity as specified. And this can also be manual or automatic. In Indian condition, mostly this is manual. You are going to the location as per the pick list, you are picking manually. But in some of the advanced warehouses, they have a automatic mechanism, especially e-commerce warehouses. It's more of a automatic. What arrangement you see in a picture is a pick to light. Okay, you are just walking inside the warehouse with a trolley. A computer assisted mechanism says glows the light. You have to go to that location, and you can also see what quantity has to be picked. Once you pick the quantity, you press the button, then it will show the next area where it is going to pick. So there are a lot of voice assisted, computer assisted picking possible. So you need to have an overview on those aspects. Next one is 3PL, third party logistic. Many times we outsource the activity to outside parties. So we need to know what methodologies are being used, who are these 3PL, and what kind of service they provide. Why do you need to outsource? We have seen earlier make or buy, but similar thing applies to logistic also. If your core competency is not logistic, then why you need to invest money and time in that? Your focus should be on your core competency. That is the reason why you see many of the manufacturing organization outsources the logistic operation, because they are a specialist in logistic. They have the technology, they have the capability, also they handle the volume, so the economy of scale may be there. Okay, coming to various services provided by 3L, it could be simple warehousing or transportation, or nowadays you see they are doing entire supply chain activity in terms of designing and network planning. We also have category like 3PL, 4PL, 5PL. 3PL is a asset based company. They are have their own assets in terms of warehousing or vehicle. 4PL is more of a design and coordinating activity. They interface with the various 3PL and ensure that the activity is being done. They are also called lead logistic providers, and they are more like a solution providers and non-asset based. Nowadays we also deal with something called 5PL. 5PL is integrating e-commerce with your regular operation. That's where it is 5PL. Coming to next important topic in logistic transportation, especially in the e-commerce environment, a lot of focus is there on warehousing, transportation and distribution. And in traditional manufacturing organization, you may be involved in import export, so you need to understand various modes are available. Generally we use 5 modes. It could be road, rail, water, air and pipelines. And you should be aware which mode to be used depending upon your product and urgency. If your product is lightweight, expensive and urgently required, you need to airlift such item. But if you have some product which is less expensive, not so urgent, then you can use any other method. But you need to also understand how is the cost involved, especially sea freight versus air freight could be in the range of 4 to 5 times it is expensive. But you need to compare overall cost in terms of inventory carrying cost and then take a decision on the modes of transportation. Nowadays there are also multimodal transportation is possible. Means one agency will do rail, road, air, water, everything combined together. So you need to know what is the routing and load optimization cost involved in each of the thing. And transportation management itself is a special topic for the e-commerce platform. How do you efficiently move the products at a lower cost? Okay, when you have hundreds of vehicle, how effectively you can use those vehicles becomes very important. This is where a new concept called cross docking comes into picture. You can see in the picture that cross docking is nothing but a platform on which you are just receiving the material and then putting into the outgoing vehicles. But a simple sketch is shown here. Possibly many of the e-commerce platform, they have hundreds of incoming vehicle on one side and hundreds of vehicle on the outgoing side. So you need to mix and match the incoming and outgoing vehicle so that the vehicle comes and goes. There is no storage of goods. And if you are trying to enter any of the e-commerce platform, you need to have a knowledge on this process. And this requires a lot of coordination among the partners, because nothing could get stuck. The vehicle should not wait, the item should not cannot be stored for a long time in the warehouse. So you need to also have a proper IT tools to manage. In fact, we do a 2 hours program on cross talking on this specific topic. You can visit our website. Of course, there are not a lot of knowledge sharing available in some of the supply chain topic which we are trying to explore and provide the knowledge. Next important aspect for logistic or supply chain professional is a network design. Here we are talking about in terms of how many facilities are required, how many warehouses are required, what are the location of this facility and warehouse, and what should be their capacities and how much inventory you are going to position them. It is not only about using the software, but you need lot of inputs. Then only you can optimize system wide cost in the supply chain. Okay, so this is also one of the skill. We have a detailed program on this supply chain network design and managing. Okay, it also involves some modeling and usage of software, but you need to understand what are the process required so that you can optimize the entire supply chain management. Thanks for watching. We will see in the next session. Bye.